I want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. It says, someone once told me that they are, quote, no longer tempted. Is this possible? If it is possible, could this also mean that said person no longer sins? Or would it suggest that the manifestation of sin in one's daily life can be independent of temptation? Note, this question is coming from a fundamental perspective that is impossible to not sin so long as our bodies are alive on earth. If I'm wrong about that, then please advise. All right, so multiple things that are happening here. Let's begin with the first part of this question. When someone says they are no longer tempted, we need to qualify that. Tempted in any realm or just tempted in a certain area. There's an old adage that says new levels mean new devils. What does that mean? That means that when we're tempted in a certain area of our life, the enemy continues to trip us up. That once we trust the Lord in those areas and we're no longer falling into that respective temptation or sin, that we're no longer tempted by that anymore. Why would the devil waste his time? Then he brings something new in our life. So when we say we're no longer tempted, I've heard people say all the time, I'm no longer tempted by that anymore. Well, okay, fine. You're not tempted by that. The question is, what are you now tempted by? Every single person, Jesus Christ himself was tempted in the wilderness. Don't you think as the children of God that we're going to be tempted? Now, if somebody says, I am no longer tempted at all to sin, I mean, nothing. I would really struggle with that. And the question kind of alluded to the end of what we call this perfectionism mentality, that somehow we can get to such a life of purity on this earth that we no longer sin or tempted by sin. Let me tell you why I struggle with that. Because the only biblical evidence we have of anybody even remotely possibly reaching this level of righteousness as a man by the name of Enoch in the Old Testament in the book of Genesis, where it says he walked with the Lord and he, quote, was not. So if there's an individual on planet Earth who claims that their relationship with the Lord is such that they no longer sin, nor are they tempted to be in sin, then I think much like that testimony in Genesis, they would, quote, just be taken up to be with the Lord. As far as the rest of us are concerned, if we are living, breathing children of God, still trapped in this decrepit flesh, the enemy despises us, hates us, and he's always going to try to destroy our testimony and our fellowship with the Lord. And he does that by tempting us. Great question. If you have one, send it to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.